Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, and we are sitting down to talk about Starfield mods. I feel like the modding scene for Starfield kind of has a bad rap based on how the game launched. There was this narrative going around that Starfield mods would not be able to do anything substantial compared to Skyrim or Fallout 4 or New Vegas, and we're seeing some pretty big swings already, and I wanted to put a spotlight on those. Now, one in particular people are calling into question, and that's Project Tamriel, which is a modding project that has the goal of rebuilding not just Skyrim, not just Oblivion, but also Morrowind. And it sounds extremely ambitious, and it's also kind of suspicious because there's no website link or Discord link on the server posts across Reddit and NeoGAF and all these other places that I found this project being announced on. But I also wanted to mix things up and make sure I do highlight some projects that currently exist, that are ambitious, that do have modders working behind it, and you do have a proof of concept there to allow you to buy in a little bit. The reality is with really all of game development, many people just staple it to modding, but I think of it like when you're really hungry and you go to a grocery store. You know, your eyes are bigger than your stomach. You're buying that extra sandwich, maybe from the deli over there. Maybe you're buying that bag of chips you don't really need, but you're hungry, right? And so you keep going and then you take in too much food and you're like, I didn't need all of this, right? So same thing kind of goes for content building. When you get into game development and you find out, oh, wow, I can really kind of slap this thing together pretty quickly. Like I can get 80% of the way there. It's the last 20%. The testing, the refining, the fine tuning, that sort of stuff is what really catches a lot of people. Where it's easy to content build to a degree. You still have to have like a level of talent and knowing how to do things in a proper pipeline. But this happens across all projects, not just modding. And so while I see a lot of people shooting down something like Project Tamriel, on the chance it is real, I'm going to get into why things are changing with the Starfield modding situation and how projects this big actually can be possible. Now, if this one is real or not, we have yet to figure out, but I'll talk about that on top of some other really great looking mods that I wanted to spotlight today. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here and you're into what Bethesda Game Studios is up to, naturally, you know, I'm always talking about that kind of stuff. Consider subscribing. So let's start off with Project Tamriel. We're going to read quickly through the Reddit post announcing this project, call out what's sus, call out what's possible, and just have a quick discussion on it. So it starts off by saying, Project Tamriel is an ambitious and groundbreaking modding endeavor that aims to bring the entirety of Tamriel from the Elder Scrolls series into an expansive universe of Starfield. This project will seamlessly integrate Skyrim, Oblivion, and Morrowind into Starfield, creating a unified and immersive experience on a single, distant planet. By including iconic items, detailed maps, and beloved quests from these classic games, we are dedicated to reimagining Tamriel with a unique Starfield twist. With the vision being, imagine traversing the breathtaking landscapes of Skyrim, exploring the mystical realms of Morrowind, and experiencing the grandeur of Oblivion, all within the advanced immersive environment of Starfield. Our vision is to create a cohesive and richly detailed world where fans can rediscover their favorite Elder Scrolls locations and adventures, now with a Starfield twist of perspective. The key features are described as a complete integration of Skyrim. Enjoy the snowy peaks, lush forests, and iconic cities of Skyrim reimagined in Starfield's universe. Enjoy familiar quests, characters, and lore with Starfield's inspired elements, and enhanced graphics, physics, and gameplay mechanics, with the expansive Tamriel world being feature number 2. Oblivion and Morrowind will follow Skyrim, bringing their unique environments, quests, and items to this world. Surrounding regions of Tamriel will be added to create a comprehensive and immersive planet. 3 authentic items and quests. All weapons, armor, spells, and items from the Elder Scrolls series will be meticulously ported and updated. Quests will be faithfully recreated, ensuring an authentic yet fresh experience for players. And 4, a modular release structure. Each project will be released in sections, starting with Skyrim, followed by Oblivion and Morrowind. Each section will be fully playable and polished, ensuring high-quality content throughout the project's development. Now, taking a look at this, I imagine you're in the same boat I am, which is okay, sure. And I do get that. I think the most ambitious part of this is really the complete integration of Skyrim, because otherwise the verbiage is not consistent. You look at like the first screenshot I showed you all, breaking down the project, and what it's really described as is the iconic items and maps and quests from these games, as in they're not really doing a full recreation, but rather taking highlights of each of them. Like, let's do Solitude, Imperial City, and Satanin, and let's just have those kind of be somehow connected to one another with some procedurally generated environments between the two locations. That's how I read it at first, but then they say it's a complete integration of Skyrim. Now, here's why these bigger modding projects are going to pop up more and more. Because what's happened with Starfield and how the game has changed with creations and also the file size limit on mods being dramatically increased, where you can now download 100 gigabytes of mods on your Xbox Series X. The reason this is a massive deal is it now enables modders to bring their content to a massive audience, and they get to make some bread on it. So recreating Skyrim inside Starfield is a pretty good bet to bring some attention to your ambitious modding project, especially if you're putting your flag in the ground there and saying, like, this is our project, this is what we're doing. You're kind of claiming that ground so you can then start moving toward that goal. And if you're actually, I'm not sure if Bethesda would get in the way of some sort of reselling of their own products or recreating of their own products. I'm unsure about that sort of stuff. But if you were to bring that, say, to Creations and make a penny off of it, or Bethesda kind of endorses it, that is a pretty good bet for a big modding team to get some attention. And like I've said to people, a lot of them already exist, but these modders are now going to stop working independently over time and come together on bigger projects, because Starfield's whole entire modding ecosystem is enabling that sort of stuff. So while this project may not be entirely real, as I read the last part of the Reddit post, a lot of people are shooting it down, and I think they don't understand that a modular release schedule with ambitious mods, it's now not just this fun pet project over on PC, but getting together a team and getting this going and getting it out the door, even if it's original content, especially if it's original content, can be a pretty successful bid to making a career as a modder. Now, I think if I'm this team at Project Tamriel, maybe you do it sort of like Beyond Skyrim, where they did Bruma, where they released the city of Bruma and then some of the surrounding locale and let players test around with that. Maybe you do Beyond Starfield and have a Solitude release and just do that surrounding area, let people feel it out, and then build it out from there. If they're actually going to do this, if it's real. Why are we calling that into question? Well, at this last part here, they say, join the journey. This monumental undertaking requires the passion and dedication of a vibrant community. We invite modders, artists, and fans of both Starfield and the Elder Scrolls to join in making Project Tamriel a reality. Together, we can create an unforgettable fusion of these beloved franchises. To stay updated, follow our development progress, participate in community discussions, and gain exclusive insights into Project Tamriel by joining our Discord server /website link. Your feedback and support are invaluable to us as we embark on this epic journey. And so I saw some websites covering this, like I saw The Gamer was covering this. It's been gaining a lot of traction online. Nonetheless, that's what makes it suspicious, is you announce this big modding project. There's no substance behind it, like no assets, no team members, nothing. And your Discord server is not linked there. Even days later, I'm getting to this website link, not there. Couldn't find anything at all. Kind of strange, right? All they have is this image here on screen, which is seemingly a placeholder logo for their project announcement. This gives me Abandoned vibes, kind of. You know, remember that whole potential Kojima game, and it turned out to be a fake where people wanted it to be real? Kind of reminds me of that. But what I wanted to do was at least inform a little bit that people shouldn't immediately shoot down some of these ambitious modding projects. This one I think is fair, but there are other ones out there. I'm going to spotlight just a couple of them that are going to get bigger and bigger, because the money pool is going to grow and people are going to need to do big things to stand out. Like, you're not just going to be able to, I think, over time, make a career purely on weapon recreations, interior decorations, exterior decorations, that sort of thing. Like, it's going to start to take more as more people gather around this content. And so some people are going to have to start making quests, but some of the interior decorators, for example, aren't going to know how to make these quests. Okay, how do I get that? Oh, we're going to team up. We're going to make this. And then the project grows a little bit in scope and scale, and the rest is history. I think that's how things are going to start to transform, where these big modding projects are going to crop up more and more. But some already exist, and some of them are really cool. For example, there's one here called TG's Galactic Colonies Expanse. Now, I was checking this one out, and what it allows you to do is completely recreate these planets, and I think a little bit of Fallout Shelter, where you just get everything in motion here. But you can earn passive income while you're on these planets and pretty much have like your own chunks factory that's making you money on the side. It has a bunch of different assets that you can use. And you can see here that the gameplay I'm showing from another YouTuber, I mean, some of the assets here, I mean, it looks really good, like what you can do to pretty much recreate your own production facility and make some money off of it. So there are ambitious mods like this that already exist. And the Star Wars overhauls are already completely in motion, which was, I think, everyone's big wish when we first saw Starfield get announced, at least for me as a Star Wars fan. I was really hoping oh man, someone's got to do a complete Star Wars conversion mod. And you'll see here that people are starting to put together all the mods. We don't have a full mod pack yet, but you see the Mandalorian, you see his weapon, he's got the physics on his cape, like the armor looks awesome. And you're seeing in different pockets of the world, like what enemies are replaced by stormtroopers, what are replaced by rebels. Soon we're gonna have complete replacements of the ship. We're seeing the Darksaber. Like, we're seeing more and more Star Wars stuff get included, and eventually people are gonna start renaming planets, that sort of thing. So modding is already growing at a rapid pace here, and I encourage people to pay close attention because it's easy to shoot down these projects. But I look at ones like Sky Oblivion, I look at ones like Fallout London. These are big, ambitious modding projects, and no doubt they take years. Where if something like Project Tamriel ends up being real, I think unless they do a very modular style of release, like more modular than what they pitched, like you're going full game, like, oh, our modular release is full Skyrim integration first. No, like your modular release should be the smallest thing first. Like if you're going to do all of Skyrim, get the pieces that are most compatible with the rest of Skyrim, which I'd say is like Solitude, where like it's brick roads and everything. Build that out, release Solitude, see how that goes, get feedback, go from there. So yeah, I've seen projects go this big, and Sky Oblivion's a great example. Like, it looks amazing. It's a complete recreation of Oblivion. It looks phenomenal. I worry a little bit for that rumored Oblivion remake. If it's not up to snuff, I mean, Sky Oblivion's going to run away with the title, I guess. But this game looks amazing, but it's also been in development for like 8 years. Fallout London's been in development for a ton of years. Fallout 4 New Vegas has been in development for a ton of years. None of these modding projects get announced and come out quickly. But what can change with Starfield is money's involved. So you can start to shift your focus, and instead of this being a part-time thing, a side thing that people are just doing in their spare time for free, you can now turn this into a career. And so some of these big projects can be taken on and even expedited. Will they come out in 4 or 5 years? I don't think so. But you get the point that these can start to come out a little bit quicker, and they can, because of Starfield's file size limit being different on console, be more ambitious because they can reach a wider pool. So hopefully you found this video a little bit educational, but I'm very excited for the future of Starfield modding, as I've said many times before, especially because now console users, like, they got a little taste of it with Fallout 4 and Skyrim, with things like, I remember Fallout 4 had a complete overhaul of the visuals where everything was mossed over. It was much more vegetation. Definitely sunk the performance of the game a little bit, but I think console users got a little taste of that. And now with Starfield, I think the gates are going to be bursted wide open. I think people who have been used to modding are just underestimating what's going to be possible here. So I really look forward to it. I'm curious if Project Tamriel will end up being real. I have my hesitations about it. I'm more on the side of no. But looking at the others here, you can see that we're starting to get more and more mod packs. Sometimes the biggest mods are, as you've seen with the introduction of Vortex, which I know a lot of people were against at first, but we're seeing how it's panning out. You can download like a full 10 gigabyte set of mod packs that have already been put in order for you, and it can overhaul your entire game. And it's just mods from a bunch of separate modders all put into one. So yeah, things are getting really exciting on the modding scene. They have been exciting, but I think more people need to pay attention to it. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I leave you with my thoughts here on some of these impossible looking modding projects, and I want to get your thoughts. What do you expect for the modding community moving forward? Looking forward to hearing from you. Other than that, I'll catch you in the next video. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.